That's where you wanna go to get away from it all. Bodies in the sand, tropical drink melting in your hand. We'll be falling in love to the rhythm of a steel drum band. Down in Kokomo, Aruba, Jamaica, ooh, I wanna take you to Bermuda, Bahama. Come on, pretty mama, Key Largo, Montego, baby, why don't we go down to Kokomo? You can make it fast and then we'll take it slow. That's where we wanna go. We gotta go, Martinique, that Montserrat mystique. We'll put out to sea, and we'll perfect our
Welcome,
chemistry.
everyone. Welcome, friends.
By and by we'll defy a little bit of gravity.
Another travel fun and tips show
Afternoon
from Pittsburgh's DSEN.
Yes.
So, Rita,
Yes, dear.
how are you doing today?
I'm doing great today.
Doing great. Excellent,
Yes.
excellent. And we have our good friend and co-host, Miss Nichelle R. Downing. Nichelle, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well. Good to see the two of you as always.
Oh,
Excellent, excellent. Well, we have a great show today. We always have great shows, but this is particularly for me very interesting because we're going to talk about a number of things today, starting with road safety.
mhm.
And the reason why we wanted to talk about this for our listening audience is this is the big travel season, and we are flying, going by boat, going by car, going by train.
Yes.
We're doing all different modes of traveling, and we want to talk about travel safety tips. Okay, so we want to
Great.
talk about those road
Yes.
safety and making sure that we're conscious of what's going on around us, you know. So that's going to be our first segment. Our second segment, we are actually going to have a guest from Colombia. And I know we've had some family members who've traveled recently to Colombia. So I'm very excited to have our guest on. And then we're going to talk about what has affected um, really across the country for us, right? The Canadian wildfires. And some
yes.
people will say, well, you know, why do we even worry? Well, when you have wildfires to that magnitude, it affects travel. So
Yes,
we're
it
going to
does.
talk about that. And then last but not least, we're going to talk about the airline industry and all the automations that
Mhm.
they're doing. Now, we all know AI is here. It's not going anywhere. It's only going to get more and more powerful.
Right.
But how will that affect us as travelers? And we want to talk about it. So, for our Pittsburgh's DSEN travel fun and tips, listeners, we're glad that you're here. We know that we have folks on YouTube. So we're going to be showing some videos, some pictures. For those of you who are on the radio side, you know, please go back and watch us on YouTube if you can, so that you'll be able to get the full experience. But I'm Francine Cameron, your host and travel enthusiast. And as always, we have Miss Rita Gregory, former airline attendant and travel enthusiast. And then we have Nichelle R. Downey, travel entrepreneur, has her own travel agency, Point Breeze Travel.
Yes.
And so between the three of us, we know a lot about traveling.
We've got quite a few miles under our belt.
Yes, yes, yes. And for our listeners, if you want to call in, which we would love for you to call in, you can reach us at 412 213 8995. Or if you prefer to text, you can text us at 412 218 3888. So, ladies, let's get right into it.
Sure.
Road safety. When I think about road safety, I do, you know, firstly come to mind is driving.
Mhm.
You know, when you're going on those nice, you know, girls' trips, guy trips, if you're just, you know, driving to the airport or wherever so that you can get to your final destination. But one of the things is we are so tied to these cell phones that we have.
Mhm.
And I know there's a lot of states that just implement that if you are caught scrolling, looking at your phone, you will be pulled over by the local police, the state troopers, and you will be fined.
Yes.
So it's very serious. I mean, you'll see all different type of information, as you're watching TV, as you're watching things online about safety and the use of our cell phones. It's really, really gotten out of
Right.
control.
Right.
So Rita, when you think about road safety, what comes to mind for you?
Primarily the use of cell phones. Primarily. Um, you can still eat and drive, but you can't use your cell phone. Cell phones are very distracting. A lot of vehicles now have it integrated into the car,
Thank
so you
you.
don't have to touch anything, but you still have to pay attention to what's going on around you. And I've not been stopped. Thank goodness I've not been stopped, but I'm very careful about not using this equipment in the car when
Yeah.
I'm behind the wheel.
And for me, I'm glad that it's integrated into my car,
Yes.
but I will say that it's still distracting because you might want to
Hmm.
change to another station, or you might want to now put on your air conditioning, so you're still kind of you're driving, but then you're distracted by things
Right.
as well. So it is good that for some of the cars that it's integrated. But one of the things I try to do, and I don't do it perfect for sure, is I try to do whatever I'm going to do on the cell phone. I try to do that before I pull out.
Yes.
So if I'm going to put on the radio, if I'm going to put on my massage, don't hate, appreciate massage in my car.
Yes.
I try to do all that.
I'm riding with
I
you.
know. I try to do all that beforehand because it is distracting. And for me, it's amazing that I see people who are actually driving 60, 70 miles an hour and they're looking down.
Yes.
You know, Nichelle, what do you think about road safety? What comes to mind for you?
Well, two things come to mind. It's not just the cell phone, like Rita mentioned, it's integrated in the car. So like for me, I've turned off a lot of that stuff. So I turned off the texting, I turned off email, but a lot of
Mm.
people get all of that on that dashboard. And
Mhm.
so, I don't know how, but we all most people now, right? The studies are showing don't really have an attention span to begin with. And so how you're able
Mhm.
to drive, there's more people on the road, and tell, Siri, the computer, whatever you call it, Gary, uh to write this text message for you, and you're editing that text message. Like, how focused can you be on driving?
That's
But
absolutely true.
the, the other piece that for number one comes to mind, and not Mr. Kevin is not going to get on me because I'm not going to mention those people's name, but uh ensure that you have some type of roadside assistance. Like, I still do all the old school things when I drive. I make sure I have some cash, I make sure I have a card, I make sure I have my roadside assistance, I make sure I have my phone is charged along with the charger for my car.
Right.
um my water level is good. If I'm going on a road trip, I'll even, stop and grab a 99 cent, well, it's probably not 99 cent anymore, but a gallon of water and stick in the
Yes.
back of my car.
Mhm.
So I still do all of those old school type things. I even print out, we won't say the other word until they become a sponsor. I print out, I print out
Absolutely.
Yes.
my directions, I print out, all of that kind of stuff, just so
Right.
that I have it. Me living in Colorado, you drive to the mountains, well, there are certain places, and even in Pennsylvania, I remember taking road trips in Pittsburgh, like there are dead spots.
Spots.
And
Mhm.
Absolutely.
so that whole GPS thing, whether it's on your phone or in your car or on
Absolutely.
your iPad, is
That's right.
not always going to hold.
Mhm.
So I'll write an address down and maybe some key point streets and things like that. And now you have all this technology to assist you, maybe kind of map out where some of the places might be where I might need to rest and what's there.
And that's a good point you pull up about resting because one of the top um, distractions or non-safety situations is when you're driving and you're tired,
Yes.
right? You know, so that drowsy, they call it drowsy driving,
Mm-hmm.
is very hazardous.
It is.
When you feel like you're just too tired to drive, when you feel that way, then you probably are. You know,
Yep.
your reactions are slower.
Mm-hmm.
You're not as mindful of how fast you're going, stopping properly. And so a big thing is that drowsy driving. And I will admit, I've had that before. I remember just a couple weeks ago having to pick our daughter up from the airport.
Mm-hmm.
That was the longest drive ever
Wow.
because I was tired going and I was tired coming back. And I literally could feel myself just slowing down.
Right.
But of course, you know, you're on the highway, so you're going at least 60, 65, you know, so I could
Right.
feel my body slowing down. And I felt really, really tired as well as it was, you know, like 12:30, quarter to one, going into the morning. And that's because with Kiera coming back from New York, there was delays because of the weather.
Mm-hmm.
So she was supposed to get in much, much earlier, I think like 10:30. She didn't end up getting in for like 2 hours later, you know, like
Wow.
12:30. So what do? You still have to pick up your child. But what I should have done, and you know, thinking back, is I probably should have took a nap because it had been a long work day and I'm picking her up. But I told, you know, I told Kevin that I was like, that was one of the longest drives ever,
Yeah.
you know, and I'm sure, you know, the blessing was there wasn't that many people on the road, but that drowsy driving
Oh, yeah.
is that's real.
Yeah.
That's definitely real. Rita, have you ever experienced that?
Yes, I have. When I was flying, coming in from a red eye flight, and it had been snowing. That was when I lived in Chicago. And I was exhausted. Got in my car and I lived maybe about 10 miles from the airport. That short distance, oh my goodness, did me in. When I dozed off, and when I came to, I was 2 lanes over.
Oh my goodness.
And so that could have meant the difference between life and death for me.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And it woke me up enough to open up the windows and continue my drive on home. You couldn't pull onto the side of the road. There was so much traffic at one point. It happens to most people. And so it's important that we pay attention to how we feel
That's right.
as well as road conditions, uh, and make sure that you really take care of yourself before you get behind that wheel. One thing I'd also like to mention is we were covering different things about being prepared. Make sure you have correct tire pressure,
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
and I'll soon be hitting the road for a few days
Yeah.
driving,
Oh, wow.
and so those are some of the things that I've made sure of.
And all of those items that Nichelle talked about, having the water and make
Yes.
just, you know, your cell phone is charged, etc.
And
Nichelle, let
let
me
me
ask you.
go
I
ahead.
was going to say, let me ask you a question.
Hmm.
Have you ever witnessed these aggressive drivers on the road? And you know, and it used to just be they were aggressive, say going 90, 100 miles an hour on like a turnpike or you know, a major highway. But now I'm starting to see even more crazy driving just locally. But Nichelle, how about you? Have you ever witnessed an aggressive driver?
So I was just actually the connected victim of that. So I was coming back from the other side of downtown here in Denver playing mahjong one night, and I was driving back on the highway, and I normally take the side streets, but I said, "Oh, I'll just take the highway and get home faster." And I looked in my side mirror on the right-hand side, and I saw an older car, you know, because it's a college, there's a bunch of colleges, and he was in his lane, I'm in my lane, and then just as quick as I looked back, you know, after I checked that, he hit me on the side. And but when we got out and I started talking to him, he said he got nervous because there was a huge truck behind him. It was a pickup truck, and it was trying to force him out of the way. You know how people will ride your bumper because they're in a hurry and they're trying to, and it's a 4-lane highway, and all the lanes were full, and I guess he decided I can't get over to go around this car, so I'll force this car to go faster. And the little young man that was driving it got nervous and tried to move over, and of course went too soon and hit the back of my car. So it's everywhere, and
Yes.
it's not, you know the misconception is that these aggressive drivers are angry, right? Because that's what it used to be, road rage. But it's not that. It's impatience. It is, going back to people being tired. Well, if I hurry up, I can get off the road. It's so many different things that are
You're right.
happening. Um, Going back to what we talked about earlier, they might be upset in the car because of a text message that came through because Siri read the text message to them. It's one thing to read it, it's nothing for somebody to say it out loud. So Siri read this message or email or whatever. And so people just have all of this coming into them. And I think that affects how they're driving, as well as what we've been noticing here is there's some kind of midnight racing going on. And I say midnight, even though it's not midnight, it's like it's in the evening, but the challenge that they're doing now is they're trying to bob and weave in and out of traffic.
I've seen
And
that a
you
lot.
and they're like chasing each other. I remember growing up, I'm not saying I did it, but I
Okay.
remember people racing on Penn Avenue, late at night. You would get in your car and people were, no, these people are bobbing and weaving through traffic at like 7:30, 8 o'clock in the evening. And it is so dangerous and it is so scary. And like you said, Rita, you're in traffic, so it's not like I can stop
Right.
or anybody can stop. But here they are bobbing and weaving through traffic, and it is actually terrifying to a certain extent when you see it.
I agree with
When
you
when
100%.
I'm able to, I pull over. But one last thing I want to say about safety is the world is a crazier place, but at the same time that it's a crazier place, there are certain places that have decided to revert back to the 50s and the 60s. And so because of that, I believe that going back to being tired, being prepared, you also need to work in where it is safe for you to take a break.
That's right.
Absolutely.
I agree.
You know, Driving to Alabama every summer from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, there were certain places we stopped every single trip,
Green
right?
book. Mm-hmm.
Right, Green Book. And so you did not stop at, so, you don't know it as a child. As a child, it was like, mommy and daddy never stop. We always drive straight through 16 hours. We keep the car going. And then when I got my license, I had to turn driving. And you don't know, right, while you're a child, but now that you're an adult, it's because we couldn't stop,
That's
Yes.
right.
Yes.
That's right.
right? It had nothing to do with money. Is there a place it was not safe to stop? And I think in certain places right now, because of the climate of people, I
Environment.
think that's something to take into
Right.
consideration.
And and to piggyback on what you're saying about that is understand you're from one state, you're traveling through another state, the the laws as well as law enforcement uh, actions and reactions could be completely different.
That's
So
right.
please be mindful of and pay attention to the the, the, the traffic, the speed
Oh,
in which you're
absolutely.
traveling.
Absolutely.
Because trust me, some certain states you will be stopped.
Absolutely. And so, for our listeners, please give us a call if you have experienced any of what we're talking about now. You can definitely give us a call at 412-213-8995. Or if you want to text us, we love to receive your texts, 412-218-3888. One other um, safety issue that I say that I would like to talk about really is the drunk driving, they call it impaired driving. When you just, because people will say drunk driving, like, oh, I'm not drunk. But, one drink, even a small amount of alcohol does change things,
Yes, it does.
in your body, so I shouldn't say drunk driving, because people will say, well, I only had one drink, or I only had a beer or something like that. If you're drinking and you're out with a group of friends, then those friends should take over the driving.
If they're not drinking.
If they're not drinking, they should take over the driving.
Yes.
Because if you are to cause an accident, and God forbid you end up killing someone, that's going to change your life and that person's family's life as well.
Yes.
And it's just not worth it.
Right.
Nowadays, there's so many ways for you to get home. For us, I'm going old school, Nichelle and Rita, our jitneys,
Jitneys?
right?
Yes.
I know for the young folks, nowadays they're not a sponsor, so I'm not going to say it, but the car services, right?
Yes.
But it's really at this point not necessary to drive impaired. It
Right.
really isn't.
Right.
If something, God forbid, something happened, you can't go back,
Mm-mm.
and that's going to affect so many different lives. And I remember being over on the North Shore. We were getting something to eat. Kevin stepped out of the car. He was going to pick something up, and this guy came and asked me if I was a car service. And I tell you, he needed it. He was literally falling down drunk, and I just thought to myself, I was like, you know what? Not only should he be back in his hotel room, but he literally shouldn't be out here because he's too drunk just walking. And I thought
Right.
about, somebody just pushing him down and, taking his wallet, because that's how drunk he was. But, road safety, this segment is not to scare anyone about this segment is not to scare anyone about not driving or safety, etc. But what it is, it's for you just to be mindful
Exactly.
when you travel, right? There's a lot of things that go on. And, again, I'm trying to get so much better with the cell phone while I'm in my car. And like I said, I really do try to consciously do everything that I want before I pull off. And they said, actually, the most accidents happen in your neighborhood.
You
Yeah.
better believe it.
Can
Yeah.
can you believe that?
Yeah.
So like when you're in an accident, it's going to be, you know, overall it's pretty close to your home. It's not like 2-3 hours away or in another state.
Right.
It's like
That's
close in
right.
your neighborhood. So we just want people to really be conscious of it and be mindful, because now there's so many more of us on the road right now during this travel season.
And just because you've driven that road a number of times, oh, I can handle it. I've only have 100 miles to go. I can do it. There are people out on that road who have not traveled that. So don't
That's right.
assume that every journey is going to be the same,
Same.
because it may not. When you look at some of the statistics, approximately 27% of people driving are also looking at text, and over 30%, maybe 36% or so, are people who actually respond, are sitting there texting. So you've got to really be careful, and don't assume that because you've done it once, twice, 10 times,
That is going to be the same.
that it's going to be the same on that 11th time.
Well, ladies, we are 1 minute out from our break,
Yes.
but I just want to say one thing. You talk about your route possibly changing. So we're in the Pittsburgh's historic Hill District. Coming here to the office, I'm coming, trying to make sure I'm getting here early, and I had to literally stop because the deers, mommy and baby, were walking across the street real slow. And deer are always in packs, so this was probably about an hour ago. So you talk about that route
Yes.
changing, and so yeah, Francine literally had to stop, which I did stop, to let mommy and baby cross the street
Oh,
in the Hill District.
Rita
So
would have
go
stopped to
figure.
have a conversation with them. I love the deer. But you're right. You are so right.
You just never know. And so it's not only our fellow drivers, but sometimes it's now animals.
Right.
I'm noticing a lot more deer, fox. I mean, we were here in the Hill District a couple years ago. We had a bear
Mm-hmm.
that they had to catch. So we got to be very mindful. And as a driver, you have to be more um, defensive, versus offensive. You have to be more defensive because you have to look at how other people are traveling.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So on that note, ladies, let's do this. We are going to take our first break. And when we come back, we're going to have a guest on the line from Colombia.
Yes, yes.
Not South Carolina, Colombia. So, here on Travel Fun and Tips, we talk about locations all across the world.
Yes.
So we are headed across the world. And so we're going to take a short break.
South America.
And when we come back, we're going to be in South America.
Yes.
So for those of us who love to travel, and as I said, we just had family members have a wonderful trip there.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to talk with the experts, tell us all
Great.
about Colombia. So you guys, please stay with us, and we'll be back shortly. Excellent. Excellent. Excellent.
Looking for a cost-effective way to help increase your company's bottom line? Look no further than Soul Pit Media. With our award-winning print, internet, podcast, and Soul Pit television options, we can help your business get to that next level. For more information, contact Craig Dawson at 412-407-7685. That's 412-407-7685. And let Soul Pit Media take you to that next level.
Business owners thinking about back-to-school promotions and replacing summer flavors with pumpkin? What about your taxes? Reduce your stress and tax liabilities by planning for tax time now with Cameron Professional Services Group. CPSG takes your goals, values, and visions to create a custom tax plan catered specifically to your business. We work closely with you to ensure that as your business grows and goals shift, so will your custom plan. Located in the Hill District in Pittsburgh, PA, CPSG is a CPA and consultant firm, providing services in accounting, auditing, tax planning and preparation, community development, and operational management. Call Cameron Professional Services Group today at 412-251-0607.
Have you had the Beat by Niche experience? Beat by Niche is one of the top makeup artists in the city of Pittsburgh. She's touched the face of Cardi B, love and hip-hop personalities, and various Steeler wives. If you have not sat in her chair, what are you waiting for? Visit beatbyniche.com to schedule your special makeover for all occasions, weddings, graduations, proms, photo ops, and more. Visit beatbyniche.com and experience the touch of excellence.
Hear the drums echoing tonight, and she hears only whispers of some quiet conversation. She's coming in 12:30 flight. The moonlit wings reflect the stars that guide me towards salvation. I stopped an old man along the way, hoping to find some old forgotten words or ancient melodies.
Hold on 1 second. Pittsburgh's DSEN. Excellent. We are back. And this is Francine Cameron, Rita Gregory, and Nichelle Downing on Travel, Fun, and Tips. And again, we are going to South America.
Yes.
Yes. So we have a special guest. And I'm going to try to pronounce his name. But if I don't get it right, I hope to be corrected. So we have Jairo. I'm just leave it there. And
Jairo Aguilera.
Atlanta. Okay. Okay.
Here we
From
go.
excellent U.S. Tourism Director, Pro Colombia. So how are you, Jairo? How are you today?
Hi, good morning, Francis, Rita, and Michelle. I love how sound my name here in the US. So
Oh,
you
so we
did
mess
you
it up
did
and you like it,
perfect.
huh? I'm so
I love
sorry.
it. It's different, but first of all, thank you for inviting me to join you today to talk about Colombia and Medellin. It's a pleasure to be here and greetings to all your listeners. As you say, my name is Jairo Aguilera, and I lead Colombia tourist promotion efforts in the United States for ProColombia.
Okay, sorry
And
about
for
that.
those who may not, tell me,
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
no, for those who may not be familiar with us, ProColombia is the agency responsible for promoting Colombia as a world-class destination for tourism,
Yes.
foreign investment, no mining exports, and international business. So thank you again for your time. Colombia has become the top destination in South America for US travelers, and Medellin is their most visited city in our country. So it's great to start with this beautiful destination.
I'm excited.
I
I'm
am too.
so
Well, so
excited.
explain to me, is Medellin, is it the
Medellin.
Med-
Medellin?
Medellin,
Medellin.
Medellin? Okay.
yeah.
Is it close to the capital or is it the capital? So tell us about this particular city.
Well, our capital is actually is Bogota, but Medellin is one of the main cities in Colombia. It's a very important city in our country, and it's a city that surprise visitors with its transformation and with the way it brings together innovation, culture, nature, and one of my favorite things, the warmth of its people. It's known as the city of the eternal spring for its pleasant climate year around. So we have 365 days open city for national and international visitors.
Yes.
And that represent that travelers can walk through neighborhoods filled with urban art, enjoy world-class gastronomy, experience the paisa culture, and in a matter of minutes move from the urban city to mountain landscapes. So this city is also an excellent getaway to Antioquia, a region full of heritage towns, nature experience, and unique cultural richness. So Colombia right now is in a really nice moment in terms of on tourism, and what's happening in Medellin reflects what is happening across Colombia. One could say that Medellin is the clearest example of a transformation the whole country going through. So let me ask something about like a general in Colombia related with the tourism, because this sector has grown steadily over the last 4 years. During that period, Colombia welcomed more than 23 million international travelers. It's a record-breaking achievement. And all is about the air connectivity that continues to expand a local, I'm sorry, a global awareness of our country has increased to international media coverage, prestigious awards, and worldwide recognition. So it's a good city to start, just to share more details about this destination in our country.
Excellent. Congratulations for that growth. 23 million. That's amazing.
Yes, it is.
That's amazing. So tell us, if we have listeners on a monthly basis, I would say, that are listening to us on our platform from over 90 countries. Tell us, if we have listeners that are interested in coming, you know, and they're on a budget, what should that budget look like, and what experiences should they have, making sure that they really captured the essence of the location? So, what should they do, and what should their budget look like?
Perfect. Great question, because always about uh, how we can pay and what kind of service we gonna receive. So Medellin offers an excellent quality to price ratio. Travelers find a wide range of hotels, restaurants, and activity across every budget, from the economical options to luxury experiences. So compared with many international destinations, visitors can enjoy high quality accommodations, recognized gastronomy, and a full cultural agenda at very competitive prices, which is allowed them to make the most of their travel budget. So um, the value extends. So something important related with how much we can spend in Colombia or Medellin is that the value extends beyond one city. Colombia is easy and affordable to navigate because of improving infrastructure and a stronger connectivity between regions. With short flights times and a simple logistics, the travelers can combine more than one destination in a single trip without significant um, an increase in cost. So yeah, if Medellin on a related on a budget, definitely is very accessible for travelers, uh, for travelers on a moderate budget. So the city has a modern and affordable public transportation system led by Metro and the Metro cable, which are themselves a tourism experience to enjoy with the families. So there are also numerous parks, museums, cultural routes, and public spaces that are free or low cost. So it is a destination where visitors can enjoy a great deal without spending a great deal. Something
Excellent.
yeah. Just let me add, because this is something intentional in Colombia, and it's because the country has built its tourism industry around sustainability and
Hmm.
community benefit, which means much of the most memorable travel is community-led and locally owned rather than expensive. So that's something to consider about Medellin when you are doing your budget to trip to Colombia and this city.
I know you shared with us some pictures and videos, and so I would like to first show the video. So let's see if we can bring the video up. Just give us a second here. And maybe as we watch the video, you can explain to us what we are looking at. How beautiful that is. Beautiful. See if we can get it to play.
It's okay.
And I just have a general question for you. What time is it there? It's 12:45 here Eastern time. What time is it there
We
in?
we are in the same time.
Oh,
So
excellent.
because I'm based in Miami.
Oh, okay. Okay,
Our
excellent.
yeah, our main office is here in Miami for the US,
Very
but they
good.
Okay,
have
excellent.
another office in yeah.
Okay, so I think we had the video rolling.
So if you want, I think that I think Michelle has a question or something.
What is that scene that we're seeing right here? This is one of the,
It's like a beautiful
No,
mountain
Washington.
scene of the
Yeah.
that's beautiful.
isn't it?
So if you want, I can start to explain
Yes.
the best way to know Medellin. But and the first thing is by interacting with with its people. No, we call them the paisas. So trust me, they are open for the national and international visitors because they love to share their culture. They have a particular accent that personally I love it. So the first thing is people. But if you ask me, I would personally recommend Cinsos, touring Comuna 13 or other neighborhoods with social transformation, stories such as Comuna 3, Moraiba, and Santo Domingo, always accompanied by local guides. This is only a recommendation because the local guides know the real story, the real transformation story in that neighborhood. It's only for that is recommendation, and they are people that are very involved in this transformation, and it's all their life is connected right now with the tourism. So the other thing is visiting traditional markets like de las Américas, Plaza Minorista, and Placita Flores. And for this hour, the enjoying Antiochian cuisine and experience built around Colombian coffee. You know that we have the best coffee around the world. Trust
Yes,
me.
yes.
And how is lunch time is you should start your holidays in Medellin testing the bandeja paisa because it's a traditional dish of this region made with white rice, red beans, fried pork skin, ground beef, sweet plantain, avocado, uh, many other ingredients, obviously arepa paisa, but the special thing about this dish is has its origin is the daily diet of rural farmers, so which provide them with the energy needed to endure long days of the agricultural work. So if you will start your holidays in Medellin, testing the bandeja paisa is the best way to start. But please don't leave Medellin without testing the bandeja paisa. It's a good recommendation. Um, Attending the cultural and music events. Um, the other essential thing in Medellin is that traveling outside the city to a small town such as Guatapé that is very close to the city, Jardín or Santa Fe de Antioquia, where visitors get even closer to the region's traditions, architecture, and hospitality. For example, Jardín and Santa Fe Antioquia are part of the Colombia Heritage Towns Network. So they are special because they are small towns, but they are richness in culture. So you will discover a very local traditions of very close to Medellin.
You just made me hungry by showing the food too.
Yeah, I know. It's delicious.
Absolutely. Nichelle, any questions?
So I have a couple of questions. The first one is, how hard is it to find a local guide? Is there like, should we go to the Visitors Bureau? Would they be helpful? Or what would be the easiest way to find a local guide if you were gonna tour with a group or something?
Thank you, Michelle, for that question. As Pro Colombia, we promote like local tour operators, official tour operators that we already know that they are prepared to export the services. So we can give them some recommendation. Look for the official tour operators because they are working close with the local guys. That's the best way to do it. Always do with the official tour operators to receive a really good high quality service in Medellin.
Okay, and the other, well, I have several questions. So that was one. The other one is it true that Medellin is the shopping mall capital of Colombia?
The shopping mall,
Yeah, it's supposed to have the most shopping malls or something in Colombia. Is that true or no?
maybe it's true. Many cities in Colombia has different stores, but Medellin has something special related with textiles, with the
Okay.
local designers. So it's important to buy different kind of things, but we have different options for handicaps, for special things related with the city, but with the local designer, with international designers. So many entrepreneurs start the business in Medellin because it's a good city related with the innovation. All the time they are promoting that kind of business in Medellin. So that's the other part. You will discover good things about designers or that kind of products.
Thank you. And I've heard that the flowers are beautiful. Some people skip over that, but the flowers are supposed to be, and you can maybe tour and see the flowers.
Yeah, actually, as I mentioned, we have 365 days open city for national and international visitors. But I recommend you a special month that is August for enjoy the Feria de las Flores.
Okay.
Is a main festivity related with flowers, with local traditions, and all it's about flowers. So we have a parade related with that is very local. It's close to Santa Elena, where farmers designed like how to say, like art is art with flowers.
Oh, that's
Art with
beautiful.
flowers. Nice.
Okay, nice. Very nice.
I have a question. So if we're trying to map out how to get there, what's the best way? Is it flying out of Miami or New York City? What's the best way in terms of traveling? And then how many hours are we talking?
So yeah, it's important because I don't you share many information about how we can how we can go to Medellin from Colombia. And reaching where the air connectivity is one of the topics that we work very hard here with our stakeholders. So reaching Medellin keeps getting easier thanks to the global international air connectivity. especially from the United States. For travelers in Pittsburgh, connections through major U.S. hubs make it a straightforward trip. So, for example, New York, DC, Atlanta, Houston, Dallas are good hubs. And for travelers from Miami and South Florida, it's an easy close destination, ideal for both short getaways and longer vacations. So from cities, we have directly flights to Medellin, others connecting through Bogota.
And then how long are the flights?
It depends. I think sometimes it's 3.5 hours.
That's from
Sometimes
Miami.
4.
Correct.
Yeah. Well, yeah. It's very close. Many people think that we are so far, but honestly, it's easy flights. So
Yes.
That's
but
not bad at all.
it's very fast.
Yes.
Excellent. Rita?
Yes.
Other
How
questions?
far away are the beaches? It's the beach from the city.
How far?
The beach
Yeah,
Well,
from
that's
the city.
is from the
the
city.
beach.
Yes, is it very far?
Our Caribbean beaches.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So they are located in the Caribbean coast. I'm from Cartagena, one of the most beautiful cities in Colombia on
Yes.
the coast. But we also have Santa Marta, Barranquilla, and La Guajira with beautiful beaches and other spectacular destination is a small island located in the north part of our country that is San Andres y Providencia. It's beautiful. We call them the seven colors, the sea, the 7-color sea. I'm sorry. So it's beautiful. But Cartagena good beaches too. Very easy to access with the island located close to that destination.
Great.
So I love this question because in ProColombia we designed like our strategy to organize in terms of tourism in 6 regions. So the Caribbean coast is very close to Medellin or, for example, Bogota. And the thing is that we want that the international travelers can enjoy six country in one country because every region offer different experiences. So you can combine Medellin, Bogota, Cali, and Cartagena in a trip. We want to make longer the stay of our international visitors. That's the reason that you can connect very easy to flying in Colombia between these cities.
Very good.
That's excellent. And now I just have 2 questions. I know we're going to be wrapping up, but if you can just give us 5 more minutes to talk with us, I have a couple more questions for you. In terms of traveling to Colombia, what's the best time of the year to go?
Well, it's I always say the same thing related with that because you can fly in every season. So especially for Medellin, as I mentioned, August for the Feria de las Flores, or December when we start our lighting, like a season related with the Christmas. It's something that it's very special to enjoy if you are traveling with your friends, with your family, or alone, or with your couple. So December is the traditional Christmas lighting display, recognized for its beauty. So for Medellin, just that's two. The other it's depend what kind of thing do you want to do, but you will find different festivities, festivals, events that we are offering the whole year round.
Great. Would you happen to know what airlines service the cities in
What lines?
Colombia? What airlines? Yes, from the United
Yeah,
States.
well, JetBlue, Avianca, United, we have Copa. Yeah, we have many airlines.
Okay. I'm ready to
Delta,
I'm
it's
ready to go.
another
I'm ready to go.
important airline
Okay.
here, Delta.
Now, we try to
Wonderful.
be holistic on our travel show, Travel Fun and Tips. So we always asked about safety. So,
Yeah.
what is safety like in Medellin?
Whole Colombia is a safe place for national and international travels. So as I think that as other cities around the world that are uh, receiving visitors, um, we have the small problems like the others. Some places that you can visit alone. Please take an official transportation. So it's very safety. So we recommend to enjoy Medellin and whole Colombia um, in with the normal precautions that you have to take when you are in a different place.
Okay. And we say that all the time. You know, we're visitors, and we don't know the area because we're not local. So we always try to give those tips in terms of safety. You know, being aware of the local culture, um, different things that you can and cannot do. But here's a hard question for you. Took Spanish in high school. Still can't roll my R's. So, will travelers who are not fluent in Spanish, will they have any difficulties?
Yeah. So
Do we need to have
the,
on our phone, so we can
That app.
interpret, right?
Right.
Do the translation, right? No. So how about that? Because just
if
face
you
it,
don't speak
in
English
America,
and you want to
most
go
know one
to
language, right? When you go outside of the U.S.,
Mhm.
folks know two and three, four
Right.
languages.
Right.
So how about that? Is there going to be a huge barrier with not knowing Spanish? I would say.
well, tourism have been a powerful tool for transformation. So as I mentioned, Medellin is the perfect example. But our travel guides speak English. We know that we are receiving international visitors. That most of them are coming from the United States.
Okay.
So all the environment, the hotels, the restaurants, the local business, they know that they have to speak English because we want to be open to offer the best services and the best experience for that visitor. So all the time, um, they are doing trainings. The English is very important to us because we work directly with the United States.
Great. Excellent. So there we so
Yeah.
you guys are helping us out tremendously versus those of us in the US learning Spanish,
Right.
right? We need to learn Spanish
Yeah,
and several other languages probably.
yeah.
I have traveled in various countries, or really just two in South America, and I've never been to Colombia. And it is now near the top of my bucket list.
Absolutely.
I spent 12 years in and out
Please.
of um, Sao Paulo, Brazil, and would love to come to Colombia. I have a dear friend
It's
who's an
nice. It's
actor and
nice
playwright
to
who
it's
comes
nice to
several
hear
times a
that, Rita.
year, and he talks so much about the food and how wonderful and kind the people are. And he loves, loves, loves the beaches. That's why I was wondering about the beach, because I didn't notice that there was anything close to the city of Medellin.
Yeah, yeah,
And
it's
Michelle is
very
our
close.
foodie.
Yes.
If you are a foodie lover, so
Michelle was our foodie for sure.
oh, Michelle, Medellin will be great for you with international offer with really good chef there. So we have experience for any kind of visitors in different segments. So Rita, it's nice to hear that you're preparing your next trip to Medellin.
Oh, I need to come down. I would love to. So I'm going to look into doing that.
Please,
Absolutely.
please. And
So
obviously, we
before
invite
we
all of your listeners to do it too.
Absolutely. So before we let you go, we would like to get your socials. How can people contact you? How can they start making their plans to Colombia? So if you can give us your socials, that would be great.
To stay connected.
Thank you for that. The first thing is that if you want to know more about different destinations, please visit Colombia.travel. That's our official web page to give information about tourism in Colombia, the flights, the seasons, or everything on detail.
Excellent.
But remember something special something important, sorry, that as Pro Colombia, we promote exports, foreign investment. So if you are interested to explore business opportunity in Colombia, please visit procolombia.com. As I mentioned, our main office here in the United States is in Miami. We have a good team here to help you to understand and connect with our business environment in Colombia.
Well, it's excellent timing for you to be on a show with us because you are talking to 3 entrepreneurs also.
That's right.
So
Yeah,
we
sure.
might be contacting you much sooner than you think
Thank you.
to
Also,
explore
thank you so much
opportunities in
yeah,
Colombia. That's
no.
excellent.
Thank you so much for the opportunity, and I hope that we can do different programs to talk about Cali, Bogota,
Oh,
Barranquilla,
wow.
different. So
Yes.
Excellent, excellent. Well, we enjoyed you being on the show. Again, we have listeners that tap into our show, our platform, um, Pittsburgh's DSEN from 90 different countries, in addition to the U.S. And so we are sure that our listeners will be very interested in going to the Columbia.
And if they aren't, we are.
Absolutely, absolutely. Our
please,
goodness.
we can organize something, Michelle,
Excellent.
France, and Rita.
Yes.
Thank you so much for the
Thank
opportunity.
you.
Absolutely. Thank you so
Yes,
much for
gracias.
coming on. We appreciate it. And listeners, I think you need to start packing. We have Colombia in
Yes,
South
and
America to
explore this
go and
beautiful
visit.
country.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes.
Well, we are at the end of our second
Ah,
segment. We're going to take a short break.
we may have to come back and revisit Colombia.
I know. And we can actually go to Miami to start, right?
That's a good idea.
And have a face-to-face meeting.
That would be
Yeah,
wonderful.
that would
Let's
be
do that.
excellent. Excellent. Would
Would
thank
be
you so
great.
much for being on with us. And listeners, we're going to take a short break. And when we come back, we're going to talk about Canada. So we're going to go back to North America and we're going to talk about these
Fires.
wildfires
Mm,
that impacted the whole North America. I mean, it was brutal. So
yes,
we're
it
going to
was.
talk about that, and we're going to talk about how it affects travel and how you can stay safe. So hang in there with us. We'll be
Yes.
back shortly. Thank you.
Señor, gracias. Love this segment.
So,
Pittsburgh, it's an old school party. Yes, each Saturday we throw it back with some of the best old school music, funk, R&B, old school, rap, hip hop, and all the jams that make you move and dance. Yes, check it out each Saturday right here on Pittsburgh's DSEN. All the old school jams, 6 to 11 p.m.
Pittsburgh, have you seen our Sunday radio schedule? Ooh, it is lit. Start the day off with our Sunday gospel music from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. It will inspire you and have you praising the Lord. Then from 3 to 8 p.m., we bring you Sunday jazz melody for all the jazz lovers. Then cap off the night with the Quiet Storm from 8 to 11 p.m. to hear the best smooth, romantic, and soulful R&B sounds of yesterday and today. All that each Sunday on Pittsburgh's DSEN, the place for soul.
All my bags are packed, ready to go. I'm standing here outside your door. I hate to wake you up to say goodbye, but the dawn is breaking, it's early morn. The taxi's waiting, he's blown his horn. Already I'm so lonesome I could die. So kiss me and smile for me. Tell me that you'll wait for me. Hold me like you'll never let me go. 'Cause I'm leaving on a jet plane. Don't know when I'll be back again. Oh babe, I hate to go. There's so many times I let you down, so many times I played around. I tell you now, they don't mean a thing. Every place I go, I'll think of you. Every song I sing, I'll sing for you. When I come back, I'll bring your wedding ring. So kiss me and smile for me. Tell me that you'll wait for me. Hold me like you'll never let me go. 'Cause I'm leaving on a jet plane. Don't know when I'll be back again. Oh babe, I hate to go. Now the time's come to leave you. One more time, let me kiss you. Close your eyes, I'll be on my way. Dream about the days to come when I won't have to leave alone. About the times I won't have to say, oh, kiss me and smile for me. Tell me that you'll wait for me. Hold me like you'll never let me go. 'Cause I'm leaving on a jet plane. Don't
Crystal.
know
All
when
right.
I'll
All
be
right. We are back.
back
Thank you so
again.
much
Oh,
for staying with us. If you are just now coming on to the show, we thank you for being here, but we need to really tell you we just had the director of tourism for Colombia
Mhm.
in South America, and fantastic what we have learned about Medellin. Just a fantastic, beautiful, beautiful place. If Colombia is on your radar, you need to put through plans to make it there as soon as possible. There's so much to do, so much culture to experience, from the food to the local artists. I mean, it's definitely, I think, well worth your time. And I believe we have a caller that was trying to call on during the Columbia segment. Do we have the caller on the line? We'll see if we can get the caller. But in the meantime, we're going to go to North America, and we are going to talk about the wildfires
Mhm.
in Canada.
Not as much fun as Colombia.
No, but it impacted travel in a major way.
Yes.
In a major way. And here in Pittsburgh, major impact. We had friends, even in Cleveland, New York, just all over here in North America, the impact. Um, Rita, what did you think about all that craziness that was going on with the wildfires?
It was terrible, terrible. I had the effects of inhaling
Mm,
some of those particles that were coming down. I felt sick. And listening to news reports regarding travel, there were so many airlines that some of their planes, you hear the transmission from the cockpit, how they were picking up particles on their windshield, in the engine. So it truly was not a safe time to be traveling
no,
through
it wasn't.
that. It was terrible.
Mm-mm, mm-mm. One of the things, too, people saying, well, what do we care about in Canada and the wildfires and all that? But it really was not even safe to be out.
Yeah, maybe
You know,
this caller, when they come on, they'll also talk about maybe their experience dealing with
good,
this.
good. So I think we might have the caller on. Caller, are you with us? I can't hear the caller yet.
No.
Okay, we'll try again. But in terms of the wildfires,
Mm-hmm.
the air quality was so bad
It's terrible.
that really they said instead of using the masks that we had been using since COVID, whenever there's a flare, people get the kind of the flimsy mask. But they said we needed to go back to the N95s
Correct.
and the KN95. So one of those. So those were,
Right.
you know, we all kind of remember that COVID, when we had to really wear the thick masks.
Right.
The wildfires were just that bad. And even when you like looked out your window and everything, you could see it really was like a smog. It was so thick. It wasn't fog. It was like a smog. It was so thick. The clouds were so heavy. It was pretty amazing to even see that. And
Yes.
for those who say global warning is not real, I mean, it's been so hot, so dry, and that's what kind of started. It's almost like when you have kindling and you want to start a fire, and
Correct.
then just look at it in terms of acres and acres of dry brush like that, and then it's burning so fast that the folks who keep us safe from that couldn't even keep up with it. So it burned for days and days.
Yes.
And I mean, it affected so much so, it affected a lot of different states,
Yeah.
let alone cities. We're going to see if we can try to get the caller on one more time. Caller, are you with us?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, excellent, excellent. Thank you so much for calling in. We appreciate it. I think you might have had a question or a comment about Colombia.
Yes, I'm sorry. I can wait another time if I'm interfering
No,
Oh
no,
with
you're
the
no,
next
fine.
segment.
No, no, you're fine.
I was wondering, did Columbia have any all-inclusive resort?
That's
that's a
interesting.
good
Yeah,
question. We
that's a
didn't think
really
to
good
ask.
question, and we didn't ask that. We asked in terms of putting together a budget, but that's definitely something that we can follow up on. Have you always had an interest of going to Colombia, or is this recent, or is it from you listening to our segment?
I'm listening to your segment because I always
Excellent.
thought that Columbia wasn't the safest place.
Yes.
He said Columbia was pretty safe. I was hoping that you two can get a trip together,
Oh,
that
that.
maybe we can go to Columbia as a group.
What's your first name,
Um,
please? What's your first name?
Yeah,
it's
we can put.
Juanita.
Yeah, we can
Okay,
put that
let's
together.
do it. Let's do it, girl. Let's do it. I'm
Yeah,
ready
I
to
would
go.
like to go to Columbia, maybe go to an all-inclusive resort and then have excursions that we can go
Excursions.
on or have the opportunity to look at what the excursions are. Um, so, we'll be in a group and be able to pick what we want to do. I thought that would be interesting, and I'm so sorry I was late. I was trying to get on.
No, no, no problem.
Uh,
This is perfect.
so
This is
Mr.
perfect.
Cameron helped me get on.
This is perfect.
So
And you talk
Yes.
about excursions. So,
so
and you
so
talk about as a group,
they
that's
do have
Nichelle.
Columbia does have several all-inclusive resorts. Um, Not so much in Medellin, which we were just speaking about and we had the expert on about, but he also mentioned these other places. So they do have that. And, for those listening, the reason why the caller brought up going to an all-inclusive and then taking excursions is because, Francine and Rita know I yell this from the rooftops, you're not a local. And when you go on
Mm,
specific, if you're at a resort, an all-inclusive resort, whether it's Colombia, Mexico, whatever, wherever it may be, the security is very tight because this is
Mm-hmm.
income for the country. So the security is
mm-hmm,
tight. So if they leave that property with 15 people, they ensure 15 people come back.
That's right.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
along with that, they are only going to take you to places that are safe. They're not going to put you,
Mm-hmm,
they can't control everything, but they are. But
mm-hmm,
yes, there are a few, some are even family friendly, all-inclusive
yeah.
resorts in Colombia. So that would be a great idea for someone who is
Mm-hmm,
curious about the country, but also concerned about their safety. Because
yeah.
as our specialist mentioned, to go through the bureau, you can get a local guide. I know a lot of the young people like to go and get an Airbnb, and we're all going to stay in this
Mm-hmm,
house, and we're going to, we're going to live like the locals. But, that can be a little unsettling. So
yeah.
all inclusive, yes. So to answer your question, yes, they have all inclusives. Um, and I've said this before, all inclusive resorts, that's my favorite way to
Mm-hmm,
travel, especially traveling with a group, only because it levels the playing field for everybody. Because there's always somebody in the group who, they're running around with Oprah money, and then there's somebody in the group who, you know, has cashier Piggly Wiggly money. And so going to
mm-hmm.
an all in going to an all-inclusive levels the playing field in a lot of ways to allow everyone to enjoy everything together. So thank you for the
Yeah, and
question.
I like them because they have a lot of different restaurants,
Yep,
usually local restaurants on site.
yep.
So I really enjoy tasting, the cultural delicacies of where we're at. So I like that as well. You know, um, it, whether it be wine or food or fruit, and just to see the tropical vegetation from the area is also beautiful. So
Yes,
please
yes.
consider, please consider.
Excellent. We will. See, that's
It's a
what we
great
like. We
idea.
like to have callers call in
Mm-hmm.
and give us ideas of where they would like to travel. Um, a lot of times, Rita, myself, and Nichelle have either been there. For Nichelle, she's probably even booked a group to go to these different locations. So, caller,
Hmm.
thank you. Thank you so much for calling in. We really appreciate it and giving us the
Thank you for having
idea.
a wonderful show.
Oh,
Thank
Thank
you.
thank you so
you.
much. We
Hmm.
Thank
appreciate it.
you.
And I want to
Thank
hear about Canada. I always wanted to go on a train ride through Canada.
Oh,
Yeah.
Uh,
You know, we're going to have to explore that further.
yeah,
Our concern
yeah,
now are these wildfires that have traveled
yeah.
down
The
that
wildfires
have
have been
affected us from Canada.
unbelievable,
And if you're in Pittsburgh, we
unbelievable.
had that also the demolition,
Mm-hmm.
the implosion of the
Mm-hmm.
bridge.
Correct.
So we had all
Mm-hmm.
of that
Mm-hmm.
debris combined. It
Yeah,
really affected us
yeah.
here in the Pittsburgh
It's
region.
been bad, and I felt really bad for people who have pulmonary lung condition
Yes.
and the little kids with asthma. So I was very concerned,
Yes.
very concerned. Hmm.
And where
And
you,
I just don't believe they got out to notice it fast enough,
Hmm.
as far as masking. I thought that was a little delayed in Pittsburgh. I think it should have been out sooner
Right.
because they knew it was coming. So
it's
I just
interesting.
hope a lot of people didn't suffer and they stayed inside.
Yeah. I know.
I know.
Yeah.
Hmm. So thank you very much. So thank you for having this show. It's awesome.
Thank you.
Appreciate
thank
that.
All
you.
right.
Take
Bye
care.
bye.
Have a
But you know
great
what?
day.
Bye bye.
Tune in, connect with us, and we'll look at putting together something. Hopefully, we can put something together to do maybe a girls' trip or family trip to Colombia,
Columbia.
To
Medellin.
Yeah, I
Colombia.
think that
Sounds
would be
good.
good.
Hmm.
Excellent. He said
Girls
August
trip,
too.
Yes.
couple trip. Oh, the other thing I wanted to know about, if you can look into it, do they have destination weddings?
In Colombia?
I'm sure they do.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Are we getting married?
That's what I want to know.
Look, anything's possible.
You know,
Breaking news.
All things
So
are
yes,
I'll tell
possible,
you.
that's
but
right.
Anita is
just
talking
thinking
about a
about that would be a good
destination
place
wedding.
for a destination wedding.
Okay, we'll have
And
to really
Well,
look into
they're
that.
at most
you, you know,
all
I got
inclusive.
good dreams.
Okay. Excellent.
At most
Excellent.
all
All
inclusive
righty.
resorts, they have a wedding department. At most
Okay,
all inclusive resorts, they have a wedding department to help you. A
right.
lot of times it's outside planners, but they're vetted planners from the resort
Hmm.
to help put that together. Sometimes they offer you different perks, if you do your wedding there. Now, I will say
Hmm.
one of the things that you have to be careful about with these destination weddings, not just for you, but for anyone, is what are the requirements for getting married in these countries as a U.S. citizen?
Right.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's more performatory, than anything, but some countries have rules where the the bride and groom need to stay there 3 days prior to the
Yes.
wedding to actually officially be married in that country.
Wow.
Sometimes the officiant has to be someone who speaks the local language, so you can bring your pastor or reverend over priest with you, but then
Hmm.
standing beside that person would have to be the person who speaks the local language. Like
Right.
they all have different rules, the
Hmm.
different countries. So
Oh,
that's just
okay.
something to look into. Hmm.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You know, I had a destination wedding, and
Oh, you did?
yes, girl. So just get online and do your homework and look at different countries and having weddings in certain areas and
Mm-hmm.
see, because as Nichelle said, that you really have to make sure that your documentation, some places you have to have your license so far in advance, and you have to be there. You have to stay that in that city or in that on that island for a period of time before you're able to marry.
And so, where
Yep.
was your
Oh,
wedding?
okay.
Well, mine was considered within U.S. territory, St. Thomas.
Oh my, that'd be beautiful.
Oh, I
Mm-hmm.
That
can't
would
even
be
That's a
imagine.
beautiful.
beautiful place.
Yeah,
Yeah.
on
Mm-hmm.
Paradise Point. Hmm.
Wow. Very
Mm.
nice, Rita.
Yes, it was
Of
beautiful.
of course, Rita. You would have a destination wedding.
Right.
Of
Right.
course. And
Of course.
Nichelle's probably been to the moon already too. So here we
That's
are.
a good idea. We'll travel to the moon for my
Yeah.
next wedding. How about that? Okay.
Mm.
Well, thank you, caller.
Oh,
Again, we
just thank
appreciate
you so
you
much.
listening. Thank
Thank
you so
Mm-hmm.
you.
much. Enjoy the rest of your day.
All right. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
So
You ladies as well.
Thank
Take
Bye
you.
care.
bye.
Bye
thank
bye.
you. So,
Very nice. We appreciate the
about
color
the
that
Yes.
you had.
Canadian,
Yes.
about the wildfires, one of the sites I'd like people to take note of is the Environment Canada website. That's what it's called. You can type it into Google and it'll give you the link. So, because as much as, the news now is not the news of 4 years ago. And so because of that, we're not necessarily always getting up to the minute. And
Right.
even though, I, like everyone else, are new trusted news sources, Instagram, quite frankly, if it doesn't come up in your feed, you're still not going to know. So I would go to the Environment Canada website to really get an update on what the air quality is, what they're suggesting, how that's impacting travel. Because, if the winds are going a certain way, then that's gonna ground some of the flights.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
if it's going, it may look like a clear sky, but based on the wind and how it's blowing that smoke or whatever's happening,
Absolutely.
that's gonna, it may be miles and miles from the actual airport,
Mm-hmm.
but it's more than just the flame that's gonna affect your travel. So that's just something I want to put out to people. The information we're giving you here today is fantastic, but up to the minute, go to Canada's website because they their number one priority is keeping their people safe and alerted. And so if you go to their website, they will have up to the minute news. But you were mentioning, Francine, about the K95 mask. I still travel in a K95. I put it on from the time, depending on the airport, I may put it on in the airport, but I put it on from the time I get, when the gate starts lining up, I put it on before I get on the plane and I keep it on until I'm well to baggage claim coming off the plane. And that's just to keep from being sick in general. So this is
Mhm.
before the lettuce parasite, this is before all the things. So
Yeah.
it's
So what we're
it's a handy tool to have.
Yes, it is.
absolutely, and I haven't used one in years, but last night we found one in the house, and I meant to bring it today for today's show, because some people might not even remember what they look like because we haven't had to use them.
Mm-hmm.
But again, Nichelle, who is the travel extraordinaire,
Yes, she
takes
is.
her every time she
I'm
goes,
looking,
and I'm
I'm looking
thinking I
around my
need to get
office
one myself.
now. Yep, I'm looking around my office now. I'm surprised I don't have one here, but I just came back, so it's probably in my travel
The
bag.
travel bag.
Yeah.
You know, it's so
Yep.
smart that you do that, Nichelle, and you would think that I would do that, but I don't travel much anymore. But the thing is, and things could have changed since I last traveled in that metal tube, but the air is recirculated.
Yes.
So you're
Yes.
not
That's
getting
right.
much air from the outside coming in, but it's recirculated air. And if the filters are not that good,
Yeah.
then
Then you'll have problems again.
it's just best to travel with and use those masks on board the plane.
Well,
The,
ladies, what
the
we're
fifth,
going to do is we're going to take a short break and go into our last segment and continue to talk about the Canadian wildfires. I just want to give some context to what we're talking about. And then I do want to touch on this automation that's coming to the airline.
Mm-hmm.
And I shouldn't say coming to, it's there.
Yes.
It's here. We're living it. And I want to get your thoughts on the other side of the break about both the wildfires in Canada, as well as this automation that's coming to, it's already here with the travel industry. So, listeners, please don't go anywhere. We're going to take a short break, about 30 seconds, and then we're going to come back and we are going to talk about two very hot topics. Okay.
Good.
So, thank you so much.
Pittsburgh, it's an old school party. Yes, each Saturday we throw it back with some of the best old school music, funk, R&B, old school, rap, hip hop.
Looking for a cost-effective way to help increase your company's bottom line? Look no further than Soul Pit Media. With our award-winning print, internet, podcast, and Soul Pit television options, we can help your business get to that next level. For more information, contact Craig Dawson at 412-407-7685. That's 412-407-7685. And let Soul Pit Media take you to that next level.
Business owners thinking about back-to-school promotions and replacing summer flavors with pumpkin? What about your taxes? Reduce your stress and tax liabilities by planning for tax time now. With Cameron Professional Services Group, CPSG takes your goals, values, and visions to create a custom tax plan catered specifically to your business. We work closely with you to ensure that as your business grows and goals shift, so will your custom plan. Located in the Hill District in Pittsburgh, PA, CPSG is a CPA and consultant firm providing services in accounting, auditing, tax planning and preparation, community development, and operational management. Call Cameron Professional Services Group today at 412-251-0607.
Yes, Pittsburgh's DSEN listeners, this is Francine Cameron, Rita Gregory, and Nichelle Downing of Travel Fun and Tips. Time goes so fast,
It
ladies. Oh
does.
my goodness. We are in our last segment. And again, we're going to talk about the Canada wildfires, but then we're going to go into the new automation
Yes.
in the travel industry. But with the Canada wildfires, I just want to give a little bit context. So there was smoke from the Canadian wildfires that spread from the Great Lakes, Midwest, Northeast, Mid-Atlantic regions, and it created such unhealthy
Yes.
air. The air quality was terrible, reduced visibility, health risks, and travel disruptions. And
Yes.
that's why we're talking about this. So, as everybody probably knows, Canada, Toronto specifically,
Mhm.
is the home of the 59th Caribbean Festival. Well, because of the wildfire, they actually had to cancel.
Wow, that's big.
They had to cancel and delay a lot of the festivities. So on a annual basis, I think this is the 59th year for the festival, but they get millions
Mhm.
and millions and millions of
Right.
visitors.
Right.
So the wildfires, the air quality was so bad that festival had to cancel and delay their performances, as well as just locally.
Yes.
We're located here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and the Pirates were actually playing Cleveland Guardians last week during the wildfires, and their game
Mhm.
was canceled. So, in terms of why does it matter? It matters because it affects all of us.
Yes.
There were so many airline delays and cancellations. People couldn't go outside because the air quality was so bad. They were telling you to stay in your home, put your air conditioning on. Don't try to bring in air from the outside. We kind of talked about wearing the N95 and the KN95 mask. I mean, so this was serious,
Yes.
Rita and
Yes.
Nichelle. This was very, very serious. And as the caller who had called in, for young people, older people, people with respiratory issues, it was not a good time. And
No.
Rita, and you said you even were impacted by
Correct.
it.
And you had to be careful if you're a pet owner, letting
That's
your
exactly
pet
right. That's
go
exactly
out
right.
in this. Also, you think about the public parks as well as the pools were all closed
All closed.
for a couple of days as a result of this heavy haze, smoky haze.
And Nichelle, when you think about it, if the air quality is so bad, there's so much smog in the air, how can you as a traveler even get around? I mean, you can't fly because the pilots can't see. You don't necessarily want to be on a train. You don't want to be on a bus. And they told us not to be outside. So that's why it was important to talk about this,
Oh,
and
absolutely. Absolutely. I grabbed my, for those who don't remember what it looks like, my K95. But I tell you, you know, I travel
a
every
lot.
couple of weeks or so, and so
Mm,
I make sure I have one. I was on a flight and gave it to one of the flight attendants because they had one of those just little flimsy blue
Paper.
masks
Mm-hmm.
on. Um, this is where this is where preparation, right,
Right.
is key to pay attention to that. This is also where, which I've shouted from the rooftops before, travel insurance comes in, because if you cancel because of these wildflower fires, it doesn't matter what your trip is. It doesn't matter whether it's by air, whether it's by boat, what
Mm-hmm.
have you. That's a natural occurrence. And so they don't necessarily have to give you a refund. They don't
Good.
have to,
wow.
whatever their policy is. And so this is where your own travel insurance, check with your credit card or go and get a separate policy,
Mm-hmm.
comes into play, where at least you'd be able to get reimbursed for some of the cost, for some of these things, or
Mm-hmm.
reschedule or reroute, or what have you. Um, and then two, which the three of us have talked about, it depends on what you're going there for. Um, and I say that to mean, are you going to hike? Were you going to see some of the waterfalls? Were you, or were you going? I have a friend who used to fly. She loves, her favorite opera is Phantom of the Opera. And so she might fly somewhere just to go see it in a different place.
Yes.
And
Canada,
so,
Toronto.
so if you were going for something like that, you were going to the theater, you're going to museums, it's not necessarily going to affect your vacation.
Right.
But if you were going to go hiking, go see the waterfalls, you wanted to go to the beaches or something of that nature, then yes, it's going to affect what you do. So those are, and we talk about it here when you bring on different guests from different countries, different destinations. That's why we ask a myriad of questions, so that it covers everybody. And it covers different things to do, so that you can, well, I'm still going to go, to Colombia, is who we spoke to today. So I'm still going to go to Medellin, but maybe I'm not going to go visit the flower farms.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'm not going to go to the beaches. I'm going to do something else. So, you have to prepare.
Yes.
It definitely has an impact. And so, for our listeners, call in, let us know how you were impacted from the Canadian wildfires. You can reach us at 412-213-8995, or you can text us. Let us know what the impact was on you and your family. You can text us at 412-218-3888. So, ladies, we're in transition. We're going to talk about this automation.
Mm.
We know AI is here, and for me as a CPA, it's in my field as well, right? Everybody's nervous about it. Um, but with me, when I think about the airline, I mean, they've been doing automation for years,
Forever. Mm-hmm.
so this isn't anything new, but I think this is very impactful. And the part that I'm nervous about, to be honest with, is if they go to what they call virtual customer service assistants. I mean, it's already tough now when you call places and you get into the AI loop, and with some of these companies, their AI agent sounds just like you and me, right? It sounds like you're talking to a person and they won't let you not get out of that loop. I mean, it takes you probably 10 minutes until you finally just say, I want to talk to a real person.
Right.
And they're still telling you, oh, well, I can help you. I can help you. So for me, all of this, they're talking about airline, they're investing in automatic baggage tracking, biometric identity verification,
Mm-hmm.
real time disruption management. So it's supposed to sound really, really good. So they have predictive analytics, um, automation that becomes central to all airlines. But if something is going on and now they want to have virtual customer assistance, are we ever going to be able to talk to a person? Or is everything going to kind of be like Terminator? You know, the robots are taking over. I mean, I think it's going to be a lot.
It
To
is.
be honest, I think it's going to be a lot. And no matter what you say, how much technology, there's sometimes when you just really want to talk to a person,
Absolutely. I
you
think
know.
it's good. I'm in favor of some things, I believe, but for the most part, I'm not with all of this. I look at it as a person who worked in the industry, and sometimes you know how long, and Nichelle, you know how long some of the time these lines can be when you have people who have misconnected from flights, and you need to talk with a person who can look through the computer and find a different flight for you to get you to your destination, and to try and rely on a machine and
For everything.
for everything. I'm just not sure. The biometric portion of all of this, it's been in place, oh man, for at least 15 to 20 years, because I can remember traveling through Japan and having to deal with all of that. I never thought it would come to the degree it has, but I just can't see it taking over completely the aviation industry, from checking your bags to scheduling the cruise. That's a biggie. If a crew member miss their flight or are running late and you have to call in and get that automated system, well, how can I help you? No, you need to talk to a live person who can look in the system and see who's on duty, who is on standby, who can fill in for you. So I don't know if it's going to create more issues in the
I
long run.
I think all of the automation piece is gonna go to the customer facing parts, not necessarily all of the behind the scenes. I
I
think you
hope not.
guys will still have I think those like pilots, airline attendants, et cetera, I think you guys will still always have a break glass kind of way to to get through the system, numbers to call, what have you. Um, and Francine, like you said, it's already here. And what we've been seeing over the last, like Rita said, 10 to 15 years, is we've just been seeing pieces of it. Like this airline might be doing that. You go to this airport, oh, you do it this way, slowly, slowly, slowly. And when they do that, what they're doing is testing, right? They're testing to see, getting the bugs out, getting the kinks out of the process. How can we make this better? Um, just like we already work at the grocery store, right? Because we check our own stuff out. And
Right.
so now,
Yeah.
now we're all, flex time employees at
Mm-hmm.
the
Mm-hmm.
airlines because you put your own tag on your bag
Yeah.
now. And, because of legal reasons, you even lift it up to put it on the belt. Like
Mm-hmm.
they can't even lift it to put it on the belt.
Yeah. And you know what
I
part of that is because airline employees are not insured.
Right,
That's why they stopped years ago with having flight
right,
attendants remove bags from the overhead bins, because flight attendants
right,
were not insured should they be injured.
right.
But this
So
whole
I,
thing
I
is going to
think
put more people out of work as
it's
well.
going to put more people out of work. And then on us, on our side as the customer, this is where you really need to have your papers in order.
Yes.
Make sure you have the things that you need to have. Like I still like a printed boarding pass. So like
Correct.
I might print out my itinerary before I get there. You know how you get the confirmation email?
Mm-hmm.
Like sometimes I'll go and go to the library and print that out so that I have a paper copy of it. Because sometimes your phone freezes up, or depending on how the security wavelengths are at the gate, you can't pull it up, and FYI, anybody listening, pull your boarding pass up before you get to the door,
Mhm.
We shouldn't all have to wait in line because you didn't pull it up. They told you an hour ago that we were getting ready to board.
Correct.
That is that is my public service announcement.
Thank you,
Um,
Michelle.
for the people behind you. Um, so I think it's going to put more onus on us as the customer to ensure that we have our papers in order, that we allow for enough time to get through the glitches, the lines, et cetera. Because I've gone to some airports and, this machine is down or that machine is down because there's still a security piece of it. So
Yes.
they can't have them all. If they only have 2 security guards on that shift because somebody's called off, et cetera, then they still may only have 2 lines open. But you're already getting, depending on the flight, you're already getting text messages where they've been tracking your bags. So
Right.
now more airlines are going to do that. You've already been getting messages telling you your gate has changed, or like while you're in the airport, you get little alerts telling you boarding starts in 30 minutes, boarding starts in an hour. You're already getting those things, but now what we'll see is it's going to be more widespread across all of the airlines now. And so for those people who I don't give them all my information, you're going to be sitting in the airport now lost because you refuse to give them your cell phone number, or you refuse to give them your email address, or maybe you did, but a lot of people don't have email on their phone. But you definitely need to give them your cell phone number, because we all know you have your cell phone in your hand.
Mhm.
If you're concerned about being on Wi-Fi that's not protected, look into getting a VPN download or application. They're very inexpensive. You could put a VPN, which is a virtual private network. You can wrap that around your phone, download it, and it wraps around your network connection on your phone to keep your connection safe. But these are the things you're going to have to do. It's no longer an option. Are they taking all your information? Absolutely. Is it going into a database and now they know all the things about you? 100%.
Mhm.
That's just how it is. So
Yeah.
you have 2 choices. Either you're going to do it or you're not going to travel, period.
And
Right?
this reminds me of the technic technology, not void, but wide, because you're going to have people left behind. And I think about, our seniors who are not tech savvy. I think about, like, the young people will be fine because this is what they're growing up on.
Correct.
They don't know anything different. But for a lot of people, technology is scary. You don't know it. And, I talked to you ladies about this several months ago when we came back from LA, and they kept delaying, and finally told us that there were mechanical issues with the plane, that we had to go to a whole nother carrier. And they basically just told people, go on your phones and rebook. Well, there are a lot of people,
Didn't know that.
sitting there that had no clue on what to do, and so it's going to be that technology, um, folks are going to be left behind, and
Yeah.
it's going to be unfortunate because at the end of the day, we're not ready to have everything on a technology platform. We still need that human interaction.
Correct.
We do. As much as the airlines want to push all of us, and they will, right? Because they're the big, behemoths in the room. But there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be affected.
Right.
They're not going to be able to handle it. It's going to be a problem, and it's going to be unfortunate.
Yeah.
It's really going to be unfortunate. But what we wanted folks to understand is that, yes, it's here. This is what you're going to have to deal with. And so, try as much you can to understand the technology. But for some, it's just going to stop them from traveling airline wise. They won't stop traveling, but airline might not be the resource that it has been in the past.
Right.
It's going to be a change, so it's
Now, I will
like I
say
said.
that a lot of the airports offer, if you have a senior that's traveling, they will offer where I don't have to have a ticket and I can go all the way to the gate and wait with that person until they get on the flight.
Yeah.
That's not going to necessarily fill the technology gap, but then there's someone there to help them muddle through if there are those changes, those things that are different, et cetera. There's not too many places anymore where I don't go and they're scanning the back of my driver's license for information, to ensure I am who I say I am, et cetera. Whether it be a company I'm visiting or going to the airport, or even some stores who are, I need to verify your age, or whatever the case may be. And you're right. But with that, there are a lot of services out there that are offering to help seniors so that they aren't left behind, or not just seniors, anyone. The library has different technology support and help, as well as AARP has different technology and support and help. So there are places to reach out. And if you Google, like if you really are nervous, like I have a friend who gets nervous going to different airports because they're all so different. You can actually Google it, and there is somebody out there who has created a video to show you, oh, if you're landing in Boston, this is the experience you're going to have. If you're landing in Denver, this is the experience you're going to have, because they're all so different.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, Nichelle, I have a request. Can the airlines do this? Since the airports are getting so much bigger, can we all have some scooters so that by the time we get to our gate that has changed, we're not having heart palpitations? Because I tell you that LA airport, New York airport, Atlanta
Dallas,
airport,
put
Dallas
Dallas on
airport,
there.
I mean, they're huge.
Yes.
And even if you don't have, like, you have a little pulley and you have your purse, by the time you get from here to that gate, that's probably 2, 3 miles. And let's face it, we weren't expecting all that, So I'm saying, can we at least get a little scooter? Or can I get the one where you stand up and you gotta put your
Segway.
feet? Yeah. Can I get something that'll help me get from one gate to the other, and then they can redirect some of this money for AI to just helping us get from gate to gate. Can
Well,
somebody think about that?
that's why I am a proponent. I just had to do that last year at O'Hare, no less. And I think I went from the new end of O'Hare all the way to the old end of O'Hare. And I got there and I was totally spent, out of breath and everything. And you guys know I check a bag. So it was just
Absolutely.
me carrying me. Um, and it was a lot. But when I can, I I'm I cushion 2 hours. If I have to connect, I try to get a connecting that gives me 2 hours. I know a
Yes.
lot of people don't like to do that
Mm-hmm.
because it gets them to their final destination even later. But if I'm going to connect, I want at least 2 hours, because I don't want to run through the airport.
My
It
God.
also gives me a cushion if my first flight is running late or delayed, that
Right.
I'm not going to miss that connecting.
Absolutely.
It just gives me a little bit of breathing room. And you guys know, I believe your vacation starts from the moment you leave your door.
That's right.
And so, or even if it's for work, it all starts from the moment you leave your door. So make it as smooth and easy for yourself as
Right.
possible.
Right.
So I guess
Yeah.
the conclusion is AI is here. Pull up some apps, go online,
Do
and
your homework.
what they're
Mhm.
saying, that those of us who are mature, we're still saying Google. Now it's some other stuff you're supposed to say. You're not even supposed to say Google anymore when you're doing your searches. I saw it on a program the other day. I'm like, well, you know what? I'm still saying Google. So Google, pull up some apps, do your research before you even go to
That's
figure
right.
out the airport you're flying in and out of, what the dynamics is, because it's no longer you can get through from the time you step on the floor of the airport to your destination to the gate.
Right.
You can't do that in 20 minutes.
No.
I mean, you need 2 hours. So AI is here, the automations are here. But I'm gonna send somebody an email and say, just give us some of those scooters. So so by the time we get to the gate, we're not having heart palpitations and passing out on them, because then they gotta bring the ambulance. So that's all I'm saying. Okay. And then I guess
I
we
didn't get to file I didn't get to file my formal complaint to Rita so she can
Uh-oh.
take it to the president of the airlines.
Uh-oh.
I want the airlines to go back to traditional size carry-ons. I just left Burbank,
Mm.
and Burbank, my flight out of Burbank, and by the time it got to group 2, and they had already bags
that's
for
right.
25 bags. But the people in group 1, of course, they took theirs. But this one woman had a backpack
Take one.
that was extended out in the back, and then her carry-on was bulging, and there was nothing anybody could do about it.
Right. And
And
and depending on the size of the airplane, because every plane is different,
Why
from one
didn't they
class to
make
the
her
other.
check that? Because they used to
Maybe
take.
AI wasn't available and
Oh,
they didn't
see
have
what
the
I mean?
staffing.
You see,
I
you see
don't
what I
know.
mean? Because they used to pull your bag and says, no, it needs to be checked. You can pick it up when we get to our destination.
Yeah.
I'm surprised they didn't do that and put it underneath the plane versus the overhead. I'm with
it
you,
was a
Nichelle. We're going to craft this email and we're going to put in my complaints along with yours.
Don't put my name on it. I'm just saying.
Well, Rita, you're the one that knows folks. Rita Gregory knows all. Well, ladies, we are at the end of the day. We are at the end of our show, not the day, the end of our show. So, Rita, won't you take a few minutes to put in your final words for our listeners?
My final words are do your homework. Do your homework. Just look everything up. Things that you have a question about, just look it up. About size of your bags, the airplane. You could be on a 737 1 minute and a an Airbus 320 the next, and your underseat space as well as the overhead bin is probably going to be different. So understand that just because your bag is a carry-on doesn't mean that you can carry it on.
A twist in words,
It
right?
is. It is.
How about you, Miss Nichelle?
Now, I would just tell everybody the same thing as always. Do your research, do your homework, but pack your patience. Pack
Yes.
your patience. Still, I reported it last month. I'll report it again this month. I have yet to be on any flight that was not full. Full. So pack your
Yes.
patience. You have a lot of people traveling, and there are a lot of people traveling who have not traveled in decades or years.
Or
And
before.
or before. You still have some new people and a lot of families. I'm surprised with the expensive tickets, but a lot of families are traveling, 3 and 4 kids
Hmm.
with them. So just pack your patience and remember that the person you're speaking to that has on the name of the company does not own the company.
Right.
They just work there.
Right.
Good,
Right.
ladies. Excellent, excellent. My final thoughts are I want everybody to look at that list of where you want to travel. If
Yes.
you need some help with getting information, insider information, give us a call, text us, go on our website, leave us a note. We would love to be able to help you put together your trip.
Mm.
It could be a segment on our show, but we'll definitely respond. I also want to say our next show is going to be August 29th from noon to 2. And don't go anywhere because after we leave you all, you can stay on because the best of soul
Yeah.
music. So the best of soulful music will be from 2 to 6 p.m. And then you'll have old school jams from 6 to 11. And then please put on your schedule for next week's Soul Tape. It's Pittsburgh's newest exciting sports talk show. And the fellas, they go at it.
Yes, they do.
They are excellent, led by Mr. Kevin Cameron. And next week, the fellows will be talking about the Steelers opening training camp. Are we there
We are
already?
there.
Oh my gosh, I'm not done with the summer. I'm not done doing my summer activities. But next week, the fellows will talk about the Steelers opening training camp and what's going on with our quarterbacks.
Yes.
And now we do know that Kevin, well, you might not know, I know, but you might not know, but Kevin Cameron, he will be on site at the Steelers
course.
camp at Latrobe.
Of course.
So the Steelers training camp is in Latrobe, Pennsylvania, and Kevin will be there live. But I cannot believe we're going to be talking about
Right.
Steelers mini camp next week.
Right.
But hey, here at Pittsburgh's DSEN, we talk about everything.
Mhm.
You know, so we have lifestyle, we have talk, we have travel, you know, we do it all here. So if you love soul,
Mhm.
you will love Pittsburgh's DSEN.
And let's not forget about Dr. Linda B.
Dr. Linda. So, you know,
She's so good.
she is so good on Mondays. Well, she won't have a show this Monday
Right.
because I think Dr. Linda, we have to do a shout out for a happy birthday to her.
Okay.
And then for the big dog, happy birthday, Kevin Cameron.
right.
Enjoy your birthday weekend. And on that
Yes.
note, I will say goodbye.
Bye.
What's the Spanish word?
Hasta la
Adios.
vista.
Hasta-
Bye.
Also, Lisa. Oh, also, Lisa.
Yes.
Yes, yes. So we will say that as well. And so until next time, ladies, it's
Ciao.
always a pleasure having
It
you guys
is.
on.
It
I love you.
is.
I love you. I love you. And take care, everybody. Stay tuned to Pittsburgh's DSEN, and we appreciate all the support we get from our listeners.
Let us know
With
where
the-
you want to go. Where you wanna travel.
We'll do it. Excellent. Take care. Bye bye.
Well, it's not far down